folks, welcome back to Fishing with Capt and Sharky. Today we're going to do a drum and sheephead show. What I'm trying to show you is some of the tricks that the pros and the guides use when they take out clients for sheep fishing. One of the very important things you want to use is your bait. The baits that we like to use are fiddler crabs, oysters, and clams, and you can get away with some peeled shrimp also. Now, these crabs right here that you see in my hand right here, this crab right here, if you break it in half, that's a great crab to use for drum. You can break it in half, and you want to set that hook so that it goes right in to the little leg area, of the crab, like that. And that way it doesn't hurt the crab, he stays alive, and he's able to swim. But you can break this into a piece. Just break it off and use a piece of the crab. And that's great for drum. The other thing I want to talk to you about today is the rigs. And I'd like to explain to you the difference. With these sheephead, they have extremely small mouths and they're very soft bite. So you got to pay a real good attention. And I'd like to explain what I use. And I use fluorocarbon leader a little bit, or I'll use straight Proline on my rod because it's so sensitive. The Proline is so sensitive that you'll feel every bite. But what's real important is these really small inline circle hooks right here, right? And when you put that crab on there, you'll want to make sure that he stays on good, and then you're going to lower that down. Now, another thing you can do is rig a rig like this, where you have the weight at the bottom, and then you have several different hooks that hang off of it. It's sort of like a beach rig, but you'll drop this straight down. Because let me tell you folks, it's all about location, location, location. Redfish and drum are very structure orientated. Let's take a break now, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Today, I'm here at Inlet Marina on the east side of the Valana Beach Bridge, and I have some great information for you today. Valve Tech gas and easy access. That's right, it's got no ethanol in it, and it's got stabilizers that are already in the fuel, so it saves you a lot of money. And you can get it right here at Inlet Marina. At the same time you're getting fuel, you can step off and have a little bit of bite to eat at a wonderful restaurant they have here. This is located on the east side of the Valana Beach Bridge, next to the county fishing pier. And I'd like to say another thing. They rent kayaks, they rent boats. They have a beautiful marina here if you want to tie up. A beautiful dock, great location, and easy access. And I, Captain Sharky, highly recommend that you give it a try. This is Captain Sharky for Inlet Marina. Here I am on Tomoe Creek at Route 13 at the Outback Crab Shack. I just had a great meal, and I want to tell you something, folks, I recommend it to everybody. So y'all get time, stop on by the Outback Crab Shack.
All right, you guys.
Wow, look at that. That's
amazing.
What a beautiful meal. Y'all got to come out here and try this at 6 Mile Marina, the Outback Crab Shack. Fishing with Capt and Sharky. I was about to explain to you before we went to the commercial break about how we rig these fiddler crabs. Now what I like to do is I like to leave that big pincher you see on there. You see that fiddler crab right there? I like to leave that pincher on there because it flashes and it shows them where they're at. But I like to take this snelled hook, circle hook, and I like to put it through his leg corpus in the back, like this. You want to rig it through his leg, in the little opening in his back right there, through his leg, like this. Like that. Now that crab will hang off the side of that rig, just like that right there, and he'll move that arm around, and that'll really attract the drum and the sheephead that are along those structures. Now when you pull up to those pylons, those docks, those seawalls, if you can remember, try to scrape it. Or prior to leaving the dock, gather as much shells and oysters and clam shells and fiddler crabs as you can, put them in a bucket and crush them. Then when you get out on the fish site, you'll be able to take handfuls of that and dump it overboard, and that causes you to have a little bit of chum in the water. and that'll track them sheephead a little closer to that pylon or dock. Now let's remember another thing. They're real sensitive, like I spoke a little earlier, on their mouths. So be very alert. It's not one of those rigs where you can just forget about it. You got to pay attention. You want to hold that rod so you can feel that line. I usually keep my finger right on the line when I'm fishing it. That way when he's nibbling, I can feel it, especially sheephead. The drums are a little different. The drum will hit it, and they'll make a little run with it and set the hook. But the sheephead are very difficult to feel. But that doesn't mean you don't want to try. It's a really good fish to eat, and they're really fun to catch. And everybody can tie up and anchor it up next to a seawall and chum it up and get them fiddler crabs. You can also use peeled shrimp and oysters or clams. Now, this is Captain Sharky. Till next week, tight lines.